January 2012, fares increased above inflation, an average of 5.9%. However, some season tickets have gone up by as much as 11%. The fare increase will be used for new trains, faster services and better stations. I fucking hate trains. Then you got the stuffy underground. Don't get me started on that. And you've got the normal overground, which is nearly always packed, covered in chewing gum, old newspaper and graffiti. Then, we have the toilets. Which, to be fair, is only meant for bodily waste, but for some reason tends to be covered in it rather than for it. Sorry, I'm Kyle. I'm a student in London and the train seems to be the easiest way to get around. But ticket prices are getting ridiculous. Officials say, oh, it's so we can improve the quality of the service provided, which of course, I think is bollocks, with no evident signs of change. I'd like to find out exactly where our money is going. I grew up watching Thomas the Tank Engine, who was always saving the day in some way or another. But now, all the trains are privatised, which is probably the cause of the ever-rising prices. Somehow, I can't imagine these guys saving the day. Instead, we're left with money-hungry extortionists.
You really can't say that.
Oh, sorry. It kind of makes sense why they called him the Fat Controller. Okay, do you think the service you're getting with the train companies is worth the rise in prices?
I'd say no. I mean, the service hasn't seemed to improve. There's lots of delays still. The service is always very busy as well. So I can't see what the reason for it is. Above inflation.
Not really. The prices go up a lot each year, but the trains don't run as regularly as they could, and for some reason they're slowing down.
It's not fair to compare the UK's train services with Europe's, just because it seems theirs is sorted.
Like in other countries like France and stuff, they're really like nice, but here it's like you only get the train because you really have to.
There are organisations against the rise in ticket prices. Here's an article about one of them, apparently about more train, less strain. Group's leaders said dire overcrowding led to some passengers having to stand in the toilets, which was unacceptable. MTLS, in 2007, managed to stage their own form of protest by refusing to purchase First Great Western tickets and instead handed out their own fake tickets. Their protest worked too. The rail service actually accepted them to avoid confrontation. Maybe I should print some. Michael Roberts, Chief Executive of the Association of Train Operating Companies, ATOC, said the fare increase will be used for new trains, faster services and better stations. I spoke to someone from Waterloo's management team and he told me that the stations don't actually see any of the money from the fare increase. Their money comes straight from the rent from the station stores. So where is it going?
We move around 4 million people a day around the underground, which is an awful lot of people, so I think the service we provide is excellent, but the rise in prices I think is a bit steep. You see the odd lick of paint on the station, you might see a new escalator somewhere, I don't know how much they cost, but fares will increase every year. I think companies use inflation as a smokescreen to increase their own profits.
After some researching, a certain Freedom of Information Act meant that TfL were required to answer my questions on the matter. So, I emailed them and wait for answers. Eventually I got a call, explaining that the London train services since 2009 have launched a 5-year strategy to improve the safety of passengers and for continual maintenance works on their tracks. A simple explanation all in all. Then I was told where I can find a detailed report on rail company spending. What bothers me is the rise is made and a hype is built. Even the news suggests the companies are doing it without cause. But looking at their report, which is on their website, hidden but still on there, we can see where it goes. On us. I understand that the rise is for our own good, but why not explain? Instead, it's done without definitive answers. So we're left suspecting. And if it's a 5-year plan, no doubt the fares will continue to rise again. And unless we change, our mess has to be gotten rid of some way. The best way of summing it up was from Anthony Smith, Passenger Chief Executive. It could have been a lot worse, but 6% is still a whacking great rise in the context of a service where people don't actually have a lot of choice about what they have to pay. And it's true, we don't have a choice in the matter. Maybe there are things we could do to help, and obviously improvements need to be made, but no doubt it will go up again next year, and carry on after the 5-year strategy. And we will either have to pay it, or face the alternative.